Bienvenue, Akwaba, and welcome to the Science Digest show. This show seeks to demystify science and make it simple for everybody to understand. This show is going to drive all the way from Ghana to the rest of the world. Science Digest show, yam fiko fiko. Science Digest show is sponsored by SMC Consult, EPP Bookshop, Brainwork Academic Institute, and Aspa Mineral Water. Aspa Mineral Water is located at Adenta. Brainwork is located at East Legon and North Legon campuses. And Science Digest show, which is sponsored by SMC Consult, is located at Adenta. Today on the show, we have an interesting, astute academician who is teaching in an astute institution also, an august institution known as Presbyterian Boys Secondary School. This teacher has taught a lot of people and made formidable people out of them. These people include bankers, engineers, actuarial scientists, food processing and nutritionists, and medical laboratory scientists. Our teacher here is our pride because he taught us well and he made the concept of biology very simple, straightforward, and on point. We are grateful to have on the show a teacher with an almost scientific name, and in the person of Mr. Telemachus Osae. Welcome, sir.
What?
Wow. Please, who is Mr. Telemachus Osae?
Telemachus Osae is a teacher by profession, born in the Eastern region, in a town called Enu.
Oh, okay.
The Sejama district. I had my basic education in the Western region, deep inside the Western region in the school called St. Gregoire NA Primary School. From there I entered St. Gregoire Senior High School, secondary school then, Form 1, and left to Adontin Senior High School, Form 3, Form 4, and left to Amaniampum Senior High School. So I completed my senior high school at Amaniampum Senior High School.
Wow, what a journey.
Yeah. And then entered the training college. I entered again the training college under duress. What happened was that in Adontin and Amaniampum we did some special science because Science B. Science without physics.
Science B?
Yes, I don't know who gave them that Science B. Physics is out. So biology, chemistry, agri-science. Thinking that will offer agri-science in the system.
Okay.
Those days, agri-science and biology was taken as one. So it means you have your chemistry, you have your either biology or agri, you don't have physics.
Oh, so that means engineering and stuff,
you can't out. So we're forced to get to the training college. So I went to the training college, trained as a teacher, and then the rest is history. I'm now in Presec.
Wow. Nice one there. How was your days in Presec like? Early days especially?
The early days in Presec was mixed. One, we have come to a grade A school.
Okay.
An elite school from my previous schools that were a little maybe grade B or the C schools. Then the other one it was like you had to work more than what you used to be doing. Because the students there were, as you people used to say these days, sharks.
Wow.
Special students were all aggregate 6 students that had been brought together in a class from the whole nation. So being a teacher there those days wasn't easy. You need to prepare and prepare very well. So it wasn't, initially it wasn't very comfortable. But as time went on, I got our confidence and then we are here. It was in Presec that I got to know that what we teach here is not what we learned at the university. You know, You can't bring the university stuff to come and teach in the senior high school. You need to come back, sit down, and program yourself to teach. So you have to come and sit down, look at the syllabus, and then reorganize yourself. And that is what happened in Presec. I had to sit down, reorganize my notes before I go to classroom.
Hey, then this one wasn't easy at all.
It wasn't. It wasn't easy at all. Those days, people will come to Presec, employed in Presec. First 6 months, 1 year, teachers will run away.
Because they can't fit in.
You can't fit in. You're not comfortable, they tender their resignation and then leave. Say, I can't. You can't. These were the days that the term CHA came in. I don't know whether you remember those terms.
CHA, yeah.
Yeah. The teacher comes to the class, he can't function. He is giving the stuff is lower standard. He saying you are CHA. And they will say it in front of you direct. You are in the class teaching and you hear CHA, CHA, CHA. You will stop and move. So teaching in Presec those days wasn't an easy thing.
Wow.
We came to meet teachers like Akbalu, Pepra, Tyrone, Kote. These were the teachers.
FT Akbalu. Tyrone.
Yeah.
Kalkute. Wow. And SO Pepra.
SO Pepra.
We are grateful to these gallant teachers. We are indebtedly grateful to them. God bless you all, sirs. So you understudied who in particular, Mr. Akbalu?
I understood Mr. Akbalu.
Okay.
Because when I came, it wasn't easy, so I had to run to him. And he has been my mentor.
Wow.
As at now, I go to him, call him, once a while, we chat.
So he's like your godfather?
Yes.
In biology?
In biology. Because they had been here earlier and had handled the sixth form students. So they had built that knowledge. So whoever comes here, you have to see such people, especially in terms of practical. In the university, we did nothing on practicals. Practical work, everything is theory. But when you come here, the students have to go through practicals. How to handle a class, a practical class, demonstration class, taking students to the field. You know nothing about that. I learned everything in Presec.
Wow.
Everything in Presec under Mr. Akbalu.
Nice one. So the practicals, how long was it for one session of practical? And then to prepare your lesson notes, how long did it take you to prepare a lesson note?
Lesson notes preparation involves a lot. You have to know exactly what you want to present to the students in a practical period. You know, the practical period is short. Those days it was 45 minutes. So how will you introduce it? How will you group your students? And that will depend on the specimen available. If you have enough specimen for all students, then each student will function. If it's not enough, then you put them in groups.
Okay.
Then they do it in groups of 5, 10, then you go around and then supervise what is happening there. Yeah, there were situations in Presec where we had to go on field trips.
Okay.
Now everything has altered.
Wow. Is it because of reforms in the educational system or?
The reform is one with the large numbers.
Oh, okay.
The second one is transportation. Transport. Let's look at Presec like this. A science class where we have 12 classes. Science class. Form 1 science. 12. E, F, G, H. 12 classes. And you have to go for a field trip. Even if you have one long bus, then it means you have to take about a week or two to go for such a field trip. And the field trip is continuous. Every class will go for about 2. Normally we do that when we are looking at a college.
Okay.
Where we go to the seashore habitat, and go to the terrestrial habitat, forest and the savannah. So we have to.
Wow.
And you have to carry all these students to Bunsu, to Ibri Gardens, to Kukrubite, those days. and it was very interesting.
Wow.
And more practical. You see what you have been taught in the classroom. You see the show of habitats. By these days, I doubt whether it can be done.
Because of monetary issues?
Monetary issues, everything is free. And now I'm not sure government brings in money for those field trips.
So would you recommend the field trips to be brought back?
If it is possible, it should be brought back. If it is not possible, the innovation that can be done is that a session of, we tried it, a session of the teachers in that department can go to such areas, get a clip, a video clip of whatever habitats that you're going to, bring it and show to students.
Wow. Viewers, you are still watching the Science Digest show. Science Digest show, you're yam fiko fiko. My outfit here is proudly made by Osae Clothing, located in Adenta. In case you need one, you can reach Osae Clothing. We'll take a little break and we'll be right back. From the quick commercial break. You can see beautiful books on my laps. One is an illustrated biology and one is comprehensive practical. You get to know more about these books. Stick around. Alright, so with biology at a basic school or secondary school level, we've seen that over the years, things do change. It's as though the syllabus is reviewed and approved and then certain things happen. So sometimes we have graphs, we have stuff like that. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, I think previously, during your time, we used to have graph as part of the practical tests. So you have a data presented to you, you present it in a graph, analyze it, and explain the graph, basing it on the theory that you have learned in the classroom. And some of the things are on a graph, but you have to relate it to theoretical topics that you have treated. Currently, those things are no more. We don't have the graph, so students do not analyze, do not explain, relating to things that they learn. So it has been theory. So most of the students, when they get to the university and they have to analyze some experimental issues, it becomes a problem.
Okay.
It becomes a problem because this was building the students to get to the university and be able to analyze issues, analyze biological concepts, analyze data that is given to them. Because by all means, you get to the university, you write projects.
That's true.
Teach you the what you call thesis in your project, and you have to explain in graphs and analyze it. But these days, WAEC does not present it in their questions anymore, which means that aspect has been taken out. We just bring you specimen, you answer questions on the specimen, and that is all for the students.
What do you think about it? Is it advantageous or disadvantageous?
I think it is disadvantageous. Now we are making the science teaching theoretical. You just get the information and the teachers are having their free will. Now we are teaching and then pouring the thing on the students. I keep saying that we have 21st century students now. And these students are IT inclined. But I keep saying we have 19th century, 20th century teachers teaching these guys. Majority, if I can say, 80% of us teachers are not IT inclined. So we are just pouring exactly how we were taught on the current students. I go and get my notes. Sometimes I get angry when I get to a class and I see teachers dictating notes to students. You go and sit there, your notes, and you are dictating and students are copying. Teachers go there and hand out notes to the students, copy. Next week I'll come and see you. This is 19th century teaching. Teaching of science, teaching of biology is just allowing the students to understand concepts and principles. Because that's what they have to understand so that they can solve life processes, life problems. understand the concept behind what we are teaching in osmosis. The concept behind diffusion. So that when you go out there and you go and swim in the sea for 30 minutes, 1 hour, know that you are creating problems for yourself. Something is happening. The sea concentration is higher. Your body fluid is lower. Water will leave your body into the sea. Gradually you become dizzy and you drown. But we'll go and give them the definition. Factors that affect diffusion. They cheat, they produce it for us.
Nice application over there.
This is not science. This is 19th century science. That's how we were taught. But this is 21st century. If we do that, we are limiting the potential of our children these days. We want them to think like us. And they shouldn't think like us.
So, sir, what can be done about this situation?
I don't know. Honestly, we have the policymakers are there. And I don't know whether the policymakers consult the subject associations. You know, in Ghana we have subject association. Yeah. We have the GAST, Science Association. We have Business Association. We have Social Association. So when they are to do these policies, whether they consult them, I don't know. 2, I think there should be a drastic situation where all science teachers are retrained. Maybe because of one issue. They should be retrained. By now, Preset, one of the elite schools, should be using smart board. You know the classrooms. Smart board where you connect to the net and I teach and I connect and I get some video from the net and you show the guys. But we are still writing and drawing. We just stay there and draw grasshopper. Go and stand there and draw toad. When I can get video of a toad in the pond and look at reproduction of toad and look at the eggs, the spawn, internal growth stage, external growth stage, all live for them to identify. We need to change. Because I know some of the African countries, Kenya, Uganda, are far ahead of us when it comes to IT in terms of secondary school and university teaching. They have infused it. And we talk about money. When the teacher is to be retrained. I remember when the GSS came, 1987. All teachers on the GSS program were collected, were selected, camped for 3 weeks, and we trained them using the syllabus that we were going to use. We orientated their minds towards the new syllabus. Now you'll be there, and the new syllabus is put in. The heads of department will be selected for retraining. They come back, and they don't even retrain the teachers that are there. We have a problem. If they think we are doing what is inside there, we are just doing the rote learning, pouring it for the students, for them to cram it and produce.
Which yields no fruit.
No, it yields no fruit. And WIC is also not helping us. WIC and our examination style. Because the syllabus that we are using, biology, is loaded.
I remember.
I have to finish my syllabus. I have to fail or foul. I have to finish that thing. That's why teachers will give notes. Memorize it. Produce it. Because we have to finish them for them to excel. And everybody's looking up to A, right? So you have to get to A or B. It is not about how you can use the concept to apply. No. It's about getting my A. We have to look at what we need for the nation. What we need for our youth. Capture them in our syllabus. Train them towards it. Even if they are few, and we make it all of them practical, right? You get it, you come out, and you can help in solving environmental issues in biology, solving physical issues in physics. People have done the physics, they have done the police, they have done the this. How many of us have been able to use our concept in physics to produce something to work on it?
The life application.
Life application. We are having challenges anytime they say we should bring science projects. In all the schools, science projects, let the students bring science projects for maybe conferences. You can bring it. But those days, remember, students will be there sitting down and then creating something because of the concept that they have developed in what they have been taught in the chemistry and the physics. Because all of us to rush, we have to rush and finish the syllabus so that our students will blow. I see my students, 100 of them had 80s. That's what we are all doing in the country now.
So, my friend will call it mass production.
Yes, we produce them. Prosec, 8 A's. You see, now schools are challenging, right? 38 A's, say 8 A's. 48 A's, 2 8 A's. They must start. Because we have to let them pass.
Wow. This is very sad.
Yeah.
So, they say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. What would be this bold step that we should take in trying to redress this predicament?
Yeah, it depends on the policy of the nation. If they say science is the engine of growth, then it means teachers will have to be retrained. Sometimes I get sad for teachers and students in the rural areas.
Yeah, that's true.
I get sad if teachers, even in the cities, are having challenges. Then a teacher in the rural area. I have taught in the rural area before. You heard about leakage and leakage. It started a long time ago when we were in the village. Because they can't teach, they can't finish the syllabus. So they resort to foul means. See the invigilator, buy questions, those things, dictate to the students. They have also passed. That is it. We need to retrain all science teachers. Where we'll find the money? Let's find it. Retrain all science teachers based on the content and IT. We should stop using this
Macabre. In fact, some of them are even using chalk.
Yes, still, some are using chalk. We should be using the smart board. We should be using iPads. If they can't train all teachers, then they have to pick some few schools and make them science, like how Prosec used to be a science college. Maybe Prosec, Wesley Girls, Embry Girls, maybe from region. Pick, this is a science school. Teachers are supposed to be at this level. They should be able to teach concepts of the sciences to build our next engineers, to build our next doctors. Not doctors who know the theory but cannot apply. Because what we are training is doctors. They know. You get to a hospital. I remember I went to a hospital and I got sad. I got there, sat down. The young doctor looked at me, started writing. My symptoms were showing, maybe on my face. Started writing. Go and collect your medicine. Without asking me a single question.
I was he shy of you?
No, I think maybe he has been taught the symptoms. That the person is pale, the person is that. So he sees the symptoms. Ask me, young man, what is your problem? Since when? What has happened? Have you eaten? Have you visited a washroom? Ask questions. This is a scientist who has been taught that inquire about everything. So if you don't have this, you grow up, becomes an engineer, but you can't fit into the society. You can't change situations. You have to teach science and make it lively for the people who enjoy the concept and then the topics.
Oh.
That is it.
Nice one. I think our policymakers and educationists are listening, and then they're picking some keys from this, from our able, noble teacher, Mr. Telemachus Osae. So say, talking about concepts, I would like you to take one topic area and give us an extemporical presentation. Maybe let's say 5 minutes, 6 minutes. A biology topic. Your favorite, of course.
Honestly, I love teaching Form 1.
Okay, Form 1.
I love teaching.
I remember you taught me in Form 1.
Yeah, I love
life processes.
Yeah, those life processes. But I'll talk a little about plants.
Okay.
Since it is part of our environment.
Okay.
Normally you don't teach plants, especially flower plant in the classroom. You can teach flower plant in the classroom. You have to go out there for them to see. Because you teach in the classroom and you talk about monocot and dicot and people chew monocot, dicot. No, go down there.
Have you heard it? Go down there. Go down there.
Take the students out and teach the flowering plant there. Flowering plant is just one of the divisions of the kingdom plant. So in teaching a flowering plant, we'll go and start. This is a phylum, division. Normally in plant we use division. Division, kingdom plant. And organisms that are under kingdom planting have the following features. Then you not let them know the features that makes the kingdom planting. Kingdom planting, here they contain chlorophyll, chloroplast, so which photosynthetic.
Okay. What do you mean by photosynthetic?
Photosynthetic is a process.
Okay.
It's a process in which plants prepare their own food.
Okay.
So, since they contain chlorophyll, then they can prepare their own food through that process called photosynthesis. Right? But if they can produce their own food, then we say they are autotrophs.
Autotrophs.
Self-producers.
Self-producers. Okay.
We cannot produce our own food. So we are heterotrophs. So when our sisters and mothers are in the kitchen and say, what are you doing? I'm cooking food. No, you're not cooking food. You're not preparing food. You are adding value to stolen food. We store the food from the plants and we are adding heat to it, we are adding salt to it, and then we are going to eat. But we cannot prepare our own food. I get it.
Yes.
Plants are the only organisms that have got chlorophyll, are the only organisms that can prepare or manufacture their own food, and they are autotrophs. So I have to let you know that since plant is an kingdom planting, this is what it has. It has a true root, a true stem, and a true leaf. They have a vascular system. So any organism that have got a vascular system, that is xylem and phloem, is a plant, kingdom plant. So let them know it. Then we come to the division and say, oh, in flowering plants or in plants, we have different forms of plants. One of them is called flowering plant, plant that bear flowers and fruits. So if you see any plant that bear flowers and fruit, then it is under a group called flowering plant, angiosperms. Apart from that, we have some that are bryophytes. They are plants, but they don't bear flowers and fruits. We have the Felicynophyta, ferns. They are not bryophytes. So we have categories of plants. But what we see around are mostly flowering plants that bear flowers and fruits. So people will know that, oh, when I say plants, they are categories. They are divisions. Then when I come to the division, and I let you know that these are the divisions, I'll come to their class. flowering plant and the flowering plant, we have two classes. That's what is monocot and dicot. So if I pick any plant, you're in practical, you put it, and they say identify specimen A, then you say it's a plant, you're backfired. I failed. A, this is a monocot plant. Then the question will be give reasons. So give reasons because it has long and narrow leaves. It has parallel venation. It has what we call leaf sheath. So you are telling us that this is a characteristic of a monocot plant. So you are out there and they are seeing the difference between a monocot plant, maize, long narrow leaves, sugar cane, long narrow leaves. Then I said, I come to dicot plants. Dicot plants have got broad leaves. They have leaf stalk. They have net venation. You will see it. Cassava leaf, contour leaves, broad.
Or reticulate.
Reticulate. Or net venation. So you make the differences on the field, not in the classroom when you are at a table. This one has that, this one has that. You will go and chew the thing and come and produce it for you.
And we seriously need to go back to the days of old to help save our country.
I think the numbers are also one of the issues. That is why people are doing that. We are teaching that to me. The numbers in the class, in the period.
Wow.
You have to rush through it. You have to finish it so that they can write their exam and pass. Because we are all looking at examination.
It is well, and it's surely well. Viewers, we will take another commercial break, and this time around, we'll be back to review these books. Science Digest Show is sponsored by SMC Consult, So Much for Christ, EPP Books Services, Brainwork, and Aspire Drinking Water. Aspire Drinking Water is located at Adenta, Fafraha. Science and SMC Consult is located at Adenta, and EPP Book Services is located at Legon, opposite the university main entrance on the second floor of the high-rise building over there. They have a playground where you can play with your kids, known as the New Zealand, and an eatery where you can also get food to eat. A variety of books are available, from books in medicine, health, engineering, exploration, designs, hairdressing, sewing, and a whole lot. Law, economics, and amidst a multiple of books that you can get there. Anything book you trust on, count on EPP. We'll see you after the break. Viewers, welcome back from the quick commercial break. You are still tuning into the Science Digest Show, and I'm your science journalist, Solomon Bediako Frempong, aka Prof. Adam Nana. We have the books here of our famous teacher, Mr. Telemachus Osae. This book is titled An Illustrated Biology, a handbook for senior high schools in West Africa. And that's the book, Handbook for Senior High Schools in West Africa. And we have a comprehensive practical book. In fact, it's voluminous. I don't think any question can sway you. For West African senior high schools, by the same Mr. Telemachus Osae. I would like him to review these books with us and how far it took him to write such a book. So over to you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. This book is one of the Teach Yourself Biology series.
Oh, okay, Teach Yourself.
Teach Yourself Biology.
Okay. So you don't need the help of a teacher?
That is it. I used to have a title, and then a friend of mine, one business teacher in Pressex, said, no, write Teach Yourself Biology.
Wow.
And that is what we explain whenever is there. And it's truly Teach Yourself Biology. This is a comprehensive practical textbook, and also a textbook for all Form 1 students. Teaches you the beginning of biology, how to be interested in biology, how to learn biology, and how to excel in biology. This book treats all practical issues in biology, including the graphs that now has been
made vestigial.
It teaches everything. No question that would drop in biology, practically. I studied the syllabus, studied the past questions in practicals, and saw that the trend was always the same. If any specimen comes, assuming it's a lizard, there are simple questions that you should expect when a lizard specimen comes. You should know what is the class. You should know its class. You should know reasons why you put it in that class. You should know its habitat. You should know lizards are what you call poikiloterms.
How does that mean, sir? Poikiloterms? What does it mean?
Poikiloterms means they have a cold, they are cold-blooded organisms, which means their body temperature changes with that of the environment. So if the organism is here and the environmental temperature is 20 degrees Celsius, its body temperature will change to 20 degrees Celsius. If it changes to 40 degrees Celsius, it has to change to 40 degrees Celsius. Unlike ours, we are mammals and we are homeoterms, warm-blooded. We have internal mechanism that regulates our body temperature. So when the weather is hot, you sweat to bring the heat out. When the weather is cold, you shiver, right? To generate it in your body. So organisms like that are said to be warm-blooded.
Okay.
So if the lizard is a homeoterm, so a poikiloterm, then how can it regulate its body temperature? This is a simple question. Explain how this organism regulates the body temperature. You should know. When the weather is hot, it will leave the sun and go and hide in the other shade. When it's cold, it will come and lie in the sun, right? You have got inbuilt mechanism. So biology practicals are just simple things. You don't need an essay. It's one sentence, two sentences, then you move on. So it teaches students how to answer biology practical questions. Any question that comes in biology practical, it teaches you how to handle it. Simple. And biology practicals is based on classification. That's everything about biology is classification. The kingdoms, the phyla, the classes, the orders. So it teaches students how to do that. I got to know that most schools don't teach practicals in their schools.
Wow.
They don't. It's not their fault. Because we were not taught practical in the university. We were not taught how to teach practicals in the university. I came and learned this from my own mentor, Mr. Kwalo.
FT Apalo.
Yes. You follow him. When he sets up a practical for you, you say, yes, this is practicals. I knew nothing about practicals. So we have to learn and put something down to help our students, and to help teachers. So most teachers buy it to set up their school practicals. But if you get it and you get it for your students, I know a teacher who does, every student has one. And during the practical time, you have a textbook with you. Practicals, answering practicals in the lab, you don't have to bring it from your head. You are researching, you are finding out, and you are writing. And that's the thing of learning. So if I ask you, what is the phylum? You go and search for the phylum. Then you put it there, okay, snail is under this group. It's under this class. If I ask you to give reasons, you look at the reasons. But if I ask you to draw, you don't draw from the textbook. Look at the specimen. That's it. I can start drawing by practicing the diagrams in you.
That's true.
Practicing it. I keep telling my students, when a toad is there in the lab, we don't bring you live toad. We bring you toad that is dead and preserved for about 5 years. So if you practicals, they say draw the toad, then you go and draw a toad smiling. All the toads in the textbooks are all smiling.
Yeah.
Smiling with the eyes open. But what is down? You will see that you are drawing from your head. But what is down there has shrunk, and it's like something like that. But you have practiced the toad in the textbook, so you have your outline. And it goes easy for you. Knowledge practicals is practicing. So this was done for students and for teachers who have problems organizing their biology practicals. And it will be good for especially teachers in the rural areas. That is it. So I designed this especially for students offering practicals. Biology practicals.
That's great of you. So please, could you get your number so that in case anyone needs the book, the number to call?
The number is 0244 688 239.
Could you take it again, please?
0244 688 239.
Okay.
That's it.
So we have another Teach Yourself Biology, and this is an illustrated biology handbook for senior high schools in West Africa. So could you tell us about this one too?
Okay.
How is it different from
So
the
this
first
is
one?
also as written there. It's a handbook. It's a handbook. It's a revision book. I prepared it for final year students, but you can start from Form 1 and read it. But this one is for final year students, and it was structured like a dictionary.
Oh, okay.
But it's not a dictionary. It's not a reference book. It is a book that you use during your stay in the senior high school from Form 1. What you do is that whatever topic you treat and the terms that come in, you tick. From Form 1, you tick. By the time you get to Form 3, you have ticked all the terms that you are supposed to know. So when it comes to revision, you pick it and you are going through and you look at it. At the back are some of the diagrams and processes of some difficult topics that have been put in simple forms. Biology, the studying of biology is not about sophisticated textbooks. Learning biology is about pure information. Getting pure information, not complex, sophisticated textbooks. Is the information authentic? Is it pure? That is all. So this one has been created for the students. You revise it, you draw diagrams, you explain processes, because I keep telling students, in biology, when the question comes and it's a definition, it's very interesting. The marking scheme says 2 marks or 0.
Wow, 2 or 0.
People don't know. It's not about putting the definition there. We give you 2 marks or you get 0. It's not about, oh, he was able to write the test of the definition, so let me give you 1/2. No, it's 2 marks or 0. Because biology is technical. Biology is technical. There are small rules that you have to follow to get your A. Majority of the students are A students, but they will drop to B2 because of these small technicalities. It's 2 marks. So when you want to define osmosis, don't cram the thing about there. Because you can define osmosis in 3 different ways.
Okay.
You can talk about osmosis using dilute solution, right? You can talk about osmosis using solvent solution, right? You can talk about osmosis using water molecules. All these definitions will end with your definition. You don't mix them or you get it wrong. So it's not cramming the thing and trying to pour it there. Majority of students get it wrong. So if you have the textbook, you know the exact definition and the terms that are supposed to be inside. So they go with it. So it was prepared for final year students to help them. It was made handy, so you can put it in your pocket.
Okay. I used to sleep with it too.
Yes. Anywhere you are traveling, in your bus, you pick it. In the dormitory, you pick it. Assembly hall, you pick it. Then you go to, I think you can master one page. That is it. It's just to prepare students to understand and be excited with biology. Biology is supposed to be exciting. Supposed to be exciting, not cramming the thing and producing it. That is it. So these two books have been prepared, and mostly I did it for PRESEC students.
Wow. PRESEC is eternally indebted to
PRESEC
you.
students, but some few schools have adopted. Yeah, I know Kofodia Sektek came and picked it.
Oh, okay.
I know Ganata has picked it.
Oh, okay.
We have Accra girls used to have it.
Okay.
Kubu girls used to have it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but because of not selling textbooks in schools.
The schools, things have
changed now.
Wow, wow, wow. Your last words before we wrap up, and then you sign out by greeting your lovely people you want to.
Yeah, okay. What I can say is that science teaching, as I keep saying, is not having complex textbooks. Science teaching is about allowing students to understand concepts and principles, because they are supposed to understand the concepts and principles to help them solve everyday life. That's why we are looking at science. If it's biology, environmental issue. If it's physics, issues that are physical and can help the society. If it's chemistry, we are looking at that. So let us teach and teach concepts to let the students understand the principle behind what we are teaching. And that is all, and you will remember forever. That is it. And to help us teachers too, I wish the government will retrain us to put us in a pedestal that we can teach and help the students to be people that we will need, that will help build this nation. And that's what I would tell.
Which people would you like to say hello to?
I think at this juncture, I will say hi to my immediate family.
Okay.
My wife, Mrs. Paulina Osae.
Okay.
My kids, I have 3 children. 2 boys who are all going to be daddy.
Oh, thank you.
And then 1 girl. Then they have been a support in my life. And my siblings.
Okay.
My siblings too have been a great support.
Could you mention their names?
My big brother is called George Osae. My sister, the senior sister, the only sister, is called Irene Delia Osae.
Okay.
She was the wife of the former headmaster, PRESEC.
Which of the headmasters?
I think your child, Gigi Asari.
Gigi Asari, okay.
Yeah, so that's why I said my in-law.
Okay.
Gigi Asari. Then the one I follow immediately was also a PRESEC, and he came to 6th form here.
Okay.
And he is Hector Osae, he's a banker.
Okay.
Then the last one, another day.
Wow.
He is Professor at Atomic Energy.
The famous Professor.
Yeah, Professor at Atomic Energy.
Okay.
They have been a huge support in my life. And
thank you very much for helping our teacher to help us. Wow, and he's very, very grateful. Yeah. Unfortunately, Mr. Telemachus Osae will be going on pension this year and leaving the prestigious PRESEC Legon campus, which is a very sad thing to every other year, because we want this to be transgenerational and there should be a continuity. So what will you be doing after you leave PRESEC in October?
I am a teacher by profession, but I'm a naturalist. I told you I entered teaching by mistake. I wanted to offer agri-science.
Okay.
And I should have been a big farmer by now. So I have some farms.
Wow.
So I want to go into farming business.
Okay.
Yeah, so
then you be an agripreneur, like an entrepreneur sort of.
These days, agri-science is business. So
Business, okay.
I want to be in agribusiness.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice of you. EPP Bookshop wants to gift you something to help you in your endeavor of your agric expedition and journey. We hope you make a maximum impact from the book. It's a book on entrepreneurship, business and management. And EPP Bookshop viewers is located at Legon, opposite the Legon main entrance, on the second floor of the high-rise University Mall. There's a playground called New Zealand where you can play and watch movies and all that with your kids. There's an eatery, and there's a massive bookshop with myriads of books, ranging from medicine to law, to economics, to health, to politics, and to novels, and to scientific discoveries and expeditions. Thank you very much, EPP, for sponsoring the show. At this point, I'll take a book from my producer. And so we have this book, Smart Strategies, Management and Entrepreneurism, by John C. Chicken. And this book is going to Mr. Telemachus Osae. For the sake of coronavirus, I can't shake hands with you, but we'll do a short presentation this way.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, this comes to the end of the show. We are grateful for having you. And at this point, we say Science Digest Show. We are young, coffee. Bye.
Bye.